Hi everybody and welcome back to another Legends of Runeterra video and gameplay. Today I have a deck that I featured in the past. This is called Ninja Noxus, and we're working with two unusual units in this deck, the Insightful Investigator and Shiraza the Blade. Neither of them get very much action in decks, but both of them are really interesting cards with interesting abilities. Shiraza the Blade deals double damage to the enemy Nexus, and the Insightful Investigator will draw a fleeting card when you play a 2-cost card. So we're running a ton of 2-cost cards in this deck, giving us a ton of card draw whenever we play 2-cost spells and units, granting us the ability to fill our board and also create a ton of pressure with those 2-cost units, who are mostly found in aggro decks. So units like the Legion Grenadier, we've got the Crimson Disciple, Imperial Demolitionist, and the Boom Crew Rookie. All of these units, like I said, are found in aggro decks and are able to deal extra damage to the enemy Nexus each round. Now we're also running in this deck 2 Intrepid Mariners and 3 Sumpworks Map. All of these, these two elusive options work really well with Shiraza the Blade, who when she strikes the enemy Nexus will deal that double damage. The Sumpworks Map makes it really hard for the enemy to block her with her 3 health. They have to have a spell or multiple spells to take her out, and she just really puts in a ton of work and pressure onto the enemy. We have a ton of spells to buff her up to, like Might, Transfusion, Rising Spell Force, and Elixir of Wrath. All of these cards are available to her to potentially finish out the enemy in one round. A super fun deck. I've got some commentary with it today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. Okay, so we're going against a Lux deck, Piltover Demacia. So with Lux, we generally need to be worried about her leveling up with 6+ mana spells and having the Mage Seekers and things like that in her deck. Remembrance is pretty common with Lux. Just other 6-cost spells. Some of them could be burst speed, but for the most part, they try to work towards late game. So we have a pretty good opening hand here. We've got the Insightful Investigator already in our hand, and the Crimson Disciple, which is a really good unit to draw pretty much any time. So we put down the Crimson Disciple, and now we're just going to attack here. I kind of want to wait to play my 2-cost spells once I have my Insightful Investigator down, so there's not much that I can really do here. He ends up using the Hex Tech, whatever it is, transforming me into his unit. So he's already cast his 6 mana spells. So his Mage Seekers, if he has any, are going to get their kind of ability power up, whatever they are. And just like that, he places down his Mage Seeker here, and now he actually is a pretty big threat. So that worked out pretty well for him. I was kind of thinking this deck was going to be a little bit inefficient, but actually it ended up working out really well for him. And now all of a sudden he's pressuring me. So I'm forced to block here with my Intrepid Mariner. Not much I can do about that. Consider using the Mystic Shot, but decide not to because I wouldn't be able to finish off anything, and I'd rather keep it for later. And we play our Insightful Investigator on turn 4. Now we can start getting a lot of card draw and getting a lot of our 2-cost units out here. So, like I said, his deck didn't seem very efficient, but all of a sudden he's got all these units that he can use to be super powerful. It's only turn 5, and he's got these bulky units out already. I decided to get some more card draw and use Rummage, or try to get some different cards in my hand. I didn't really like what I had. Need to get more units out. And we fortunately draw the Crimson Disciple this next round, and he does an open attack, which would have been really bad for me, which I'm pretty grateful for. And we place the Intrepid Mariner down and get some card draw, like I said, with the Insightful Investigator. He ends up attacking with everybody. I'm going to take out his
Did my father send you?
Mage Seeker with my Intrepid Mariner, and we have the burst spell to get the jury rig out and be able to block one of his units. Pretty interesting deck. You don't see these concepts very often, and I don't mind going against a well-constructed deck that isn't very common. So kudos to this guy. He's putting a lot of pressure on me, and there's not a lot that I can do about it. We just need to play all these 2-cost cards and draw some more units to be able to finish him off here. Alright, he ends up playing the Lux. And we end up drawing a Sumpworks map, which is really nice because it is going to allow me to get free damage onto the Nexus. He's only got 2 mana left, so it's possible that he has a Mystic Shot. But in general, he's not going to be able to stop an attack. Alright, so he's got Purify. And I Sumpworks maps my Boom Crew Rookie here. And now we get an open attack on his Nexus because we have elusive units. Get him down to 11. I wish I would have gotten that Demolitionist around earlier so that I could play it onto the Crimson Disciple that I had in hand, but not much I can do about that. Would have been nice to get a little bit of extra damage onto him. Now it's his turn to attack. His units are looking pretty threatening here. So I have to block him with my units. I'm going to block all of them except for Lux here, because I need to keep my Insightful Investigator if I want any chance of winning this game. I need her down so that I can keep on getting some card draw. Just thinking over the options here, not much else I can do right now. I can't take out anybody with the, well, I could take out them with the Mystic Shots. He's got 8 mana though, so there's plenty of playmaking potential that he could do. I pass it back to him. I'm okay with my units dying here if he doesn't use anything, and I get to kind of preserve my mana as well and be able to develop my board. So I end up playing my Crimson Disciple here the very next round, or the very next turn, and we get a Rummage off of it. I'm kind of doing math right now. I need to decide if I can take out the enemy the next round. So I've got these Mystic Shots and he's at 11 health. We've got Might in hand and Rising Spell Force as well, which is going to give us some extra damage. So I target the enemy Nexus here, and we end up drawing Shiraza, which is a really good draw in this situation because we have Might. So now we can play Shiraza.
This place reeks of foul magic.
And now we're going to be able to threaten lethal here this round. Oh, and we draw another Might, which is really nice. He's going to have Detain though, which he most likely, if I put Might onto Shiraza the Blade, he's going to detain Shiraza the Blade. So so we need to spread out our damage in order to win here. So we do an open attack here, and we wait for him to block our units. Fortunately, they don't have a lot of health.
Where are you going?
So our Might is going to be able to do some extra damage through them. So we use Might on Shiraza the Blade and put him at 2 health. This is lethal now because we've got the Mystic Shot in hand. He doesn't know that though. So now we're forcing him to use his spells here. So he uses Detain like I thought on Shiraza the Blade. He's forced to. Now we can spread out our damage to our other units. So we need to get him down to 2 health. And so we put the Might on the Crimson Disciple, and we're going to put Rising Spell Force onto the Insightful Investigator. Now he's going to be forced, if he has any cards, he's going to be forced to use them. It's possible that he had another Detain, but we kind of had to take that risk because this game wasn't going to last another round. And so we get him down to 1 health here, and we have a Mystic Shot to finish him off. Because he didn't use any spells before, we're pretty confident that he doesn't have anything that's going to be able to stop this Mystic Shot. He doesn't have any healing options with the 2 regions that he has, and so we should be able to just finish him off with the Mystic Shot here. And we do, and we end up winning the game. I actually thought his deck was pretty interesting. I would be somewhat... I would want to kind of recreate that deck and try to do it myself, because it actually really did seem like an interesting concept. Like I said, kudos to him for making that deck.